Angel's Throne, Series 5, The Crimson Reckoning. Chapter 1, The Return of Morningstar. The sky above the fractured heavens cracked like ancient glass. From the void beyond the light, something stirred, ancient, terrible, and beautiful. Lucifer had returned. Not as the beast of fire and fury the scriptures warned of, but as the morning star he once was, cloaked in majesty, his voice a song of pure truth laced with venom. His fall had been long, and in silence, he had waited, watched. Now, with the forsaken light unshackled and the angel's throne vulnerable, he walked the burning edges of creation once again. He did not come with legions, only with a message. I have not returned to wage war. I have returned to end it. Sara, now caught between mortal soul and divine vessel, felt his presence before the skies even split. The throne trembled. Her heartbeat echoed like thunder across realms. She knew he had come, not for vengeance, not even for conquest, but for something far worse. Redemption. Lucifer's whispers slid into dreams like silk across steel. He spoke not of rebellion, but of renewal. And some angels listened. Chapter 2, Michael's Blade. While heaven reeled in unease, deep within the sanctum of the first light, Michael, the Archangel of War, awoke from meditation. The whispers of Lucifer's return cut through the walls of time like a blade through parchment. Michael's armor, untouched by age or war, glowed with cold, eternal fire. His sword, Aeth'zel, pulsed with divine wrath, not anger, but divine judgment, unclouded and absolute. He stood before the High Council, now fractured and fading, and declared, "If the morning star walks among us again, then the end is no longer coming. It is already here." Michael's role had always been singular, to protect the will of the Creator at any cost. And yet, for the first time in eternity, doubt crept into his soul, not because of Lucifer, but because of Sara. He had watched her, the mortal-turned vessel, ascend the throne and bend the light to her will. Her soul shimmered between defiance and devotion. She was no longer a pawn, nor queen, but something else. And Michael feared what she was becoming. Chapter 3, Three Thrones Broken. Beneath the fractured veil of existence, the three celestial thrones, power, wisdom, and judgment, trembled. The throne of power, held tenuously by Sara, burned brighter and more violently. She no longer needed to sit upon it to wield it. It moved with her. It whispered her name in 1,000 languages, some divine, some extinct. The throne of wisdom, once overseen by Gabriel, remained cold, untouched, until Lucifer entered its chamber unbidden and sat upon it. No angel dared stop him. Lucifer, with eyes like twin suns, smiled and said, "Wisdom was never about obedience. It was about knowing what lies behind obedience." The throne of judgment, held by no one, cracked silently in the dark. Somewhere far below, Israfel, torn between Neretha and his former allegiance, began to weep blood. Chapter 4, Crimson Reckoning. In the realm between realms, the plane of reckoning, the war began not with armies, but with truth. Lucifer and Michael stood face to face on the fields of Elion, where starlight once danced and now shadows loomed. Michael's sword blazed with the Creator's justice. Lucifer raised no weapon. He spoke. "I fell because I saw what was coming. I was not the betrayer. I was the warning." Michael, unmoved, whispered, "Then die as the warning, not the savior." But before Michael could strike, Sara appeared. Between them. Her voice, raw and powerful, echoed through the stars. "This is not your war anymore." She stood alone, her eyes burning with both divine fire and mortal anguish. And behind her, the forsaken light rose like a sun of despair. Chapter 5, The Broken Chain. Back on earth, the veil between the mortal and divine began to thin. Temples crumbled. Children spoke in tongues. Rivers flowed backward. The risen mortals, under Eliam's guidance, began to fracture. Some turned to Neretha's vision of order through shadow, while others followed a new, mysterious path, a third way neither light nor dark. That path was Sara's. But even she did not fully understand where it led. Gabriel, cast from the heavens for his disobedience, now walked among mortals as a fallen guardian, cloaked in anonymity. He sought the truth that no angel, no demon, not even Lucifer himself could comprehend. And somewhere deep in the desolate crypts beneath creation, the true origin of the forsaken light stirred, a force older than heaven. Older than Lucifer. A name lost to all but the stones. Aeth'zel. The first light, now the final dark. And heaven is no longer safe. Prepare for the judgment of angels, the mercy of devils. And the reign of the throne that chooses its own. Chapter 6, Aeth'zel, the Forgotten Flame. Before there was heaven, before the rebellion, before the light itself had form, there was Aeth'zel. A name the stars had forgotten. Aeth'zel was not an angel. Not a demon. Not even a being. He was the essence of the first spark, the raw, primal will that gave birth to both light and shadow. He had no throne. He was the throne. Banished by the Creator in the instant time was born, Aeth'zel's spirit had been sealed in the veil beyond creation, his name unspoken for eons. But now, something had stirred. Beneath the mortal world, in the catacombs hidden beneath crumbled churches and forgotten scriptures, the risen mortals unearthed a relic. A stone pulsing with strange warmth, not unlike light, yet it cast no shadow. Ilium stood over it, trembling, as a voice whispered. I was not forsaken. I was hidden. And somewhere in Sara's mind, she heard the same voice. You are not wielding the throne, it is remembering itself through you. Chapter 7, The Fracturing Sky. Michael stood atop the citadel of Oradine, once the highest tower in heaven. His sword Verithiel pulsed, no longer steady. The blade, forged at the dawn of time, now fractured, a hairline crack along its edge. He had seen this once before. Before Lucifer fell. Michael's mind reeled with memory. Lucifer, the firstborn of light, had not fallen out of pride but doubt. He had asked, before all the others, why were we created with choice, if we were never meant to use it? The council had called it rebellion. Michael had called it heresy. But now, staring at Sara, a mortal holding the throne's power, and not consumed, Michael wondered. Had Lucifer been right? He turned to Gabriel, wings broken, cast to the mortal world, and whispered. I no longer know if I serve the Creator, or a law written in his absence. Chapter 8, The Whispered Deal. Lucifer walked alone through the garden of ruined stars, where the constellations no longer sang. There, Neretha awaited him. The Queen of Shadows was changed. The forsaken light had coursed through her veins, transfiguring her into something beyond angel or demon. She was not Sara's enemy, she was her mirror. You and I both know. She told Lucifer, the thrones were always meant to fall. They were never built to last. They were built to contain. Lucifer studied her, amused. Contain what? She smiled. Aeth'zel. Lucifer paused, his eternal calm breaking for a moment. That name should not exist. It does now. She whispered. And the throne is waking because he is waking. Lucifer clenched his fist. Then it's too late. Neretha stepped closer. Join me. Not as conqueror. But as a guardian of something greater. The age of thrones is over. What comes next is reckoning. Lucifer did not answer. But he did not walk away. Chapter 9, Sara's Fall. Sara stood in the Valley of Echoes, where time itself bent. The sky above was aflame. Reality rippled around her. Every step she took was echoed in 1,000 alternate futures. One where she ruled as a tyrant. One where she perished to save the world. One where she became the light. And one where she became Aeth'zel's vessel. The angel's throne followed behind her like a ghost, no longer needing stone or gold. It had become light given form, and it bent only to her will, yet increasingly, her will felt like it was not her own. In a voice layered with pain and clarity, she prayed. Creator, if you still watch, if you still listen, tell me. Is this power your blessing, or your test? But silence answered her. Only the voice of Aeth'zel returned. I am not your God. I am what your God feared. Chapter 10, The Blade and the Morning Star. Lucifer and Michael met again, not with armies, not with fire, but in an ancient chapel lost in time. The stained glass had been shattered. The altar was dust. But the stars above paused their orbit. Michael spoke first. You don't want to rule, do you? Lucifer nodded once. No. Then what do you want? Lucifer's answer was not for heaven or hell, it was for Sara, for the Creator, for the flame at the beginning of time. I want to be forgiven. Michael gripped his sword, trembling. But not for what I did. Lucifer said, stepping closer, for what I knew, and chose not to stop. Silence hung between them. Then, the ground shook. The skies opened. And from the breach in reality, Aeth'zel stepped through. He had no face. No wings. He was formless fire. And all of creation remembered him. To be continued.